King Cobra gear ratios. This is going to be quite a long one, I'm afraid, because we've got 4 ratios, and with the 2 different motor options, there's a lot to cover here. And I'm going to do this in metric and imperial, so depends on which way you like to work, you've got the information that you need. If we start off with the basics, the King Cobra's gearbox has got the ability to easily change the gear ratio by removing the middle gear assembly and then the top gear assembly. And these can be bought as upgrades. There's 4 different ratios available. So if you've got one ratio and you decide that, yeah, that's not quite working for me, it's a bit too fast, or I want a bit more pulling capacity or whatever, we can sell you these gears as an upgrade. So as you see, they just pop out. When you want to pop them back in again, little trick here is pop the one that engages with the air brake. That's your air brake engagement. Get that one fitted into here first before you then work that lot back in, and then the corresponding middle gear assembly. And it's as simple as that to swap the gears. Obviously you've got a ring of bolts for the cover. So let's start off with single motors. What will things pull? If we start with the fastest ratio, which is the race gearing, that gives you a 65:1 ratio. I'll be honest with you, it's not going to pull a lot with a single motor. Realistically, you're only going to want to use race gearing on very lightweight things like side-by-side ATVs or with a twin motor setup. But single motor setup, it's a 65:1 ratio, which gives you about, well, it gives you 2,500 kilos pulling capacity, which is 5,500 pounds. Next step up is if we go to the overland gearing, which is 89:1. Yes, I am reading from the sheet because there's so much here I can't remember them all, and we will get this on the website so you guys can go through this to your heart's content. But 89:1 with single motor, 3.5 tons, 3,500 kilos. That's 7,700 pounds. Again, marginal for an SUV, certainly going to work really well in the side-by-side as a single motor. If we get up to the adventure gearing though, that's 138:1. So that's basically the same as the old Warn 8274, which was 132:1. But we've got, thanks to the power of the Ox motor, 5,500 kg pulling capacity, which is 12,000 pounds. Finally, we go up to the Titan gearing, 177:1. That's going to give you 7,000 kilos on a single motor, which is 15,400 pounds. Okay. Now, if you go to a twin motor, and bear in mind, twin motors, because we have to support the second motor with this bracket, can only use twin motors on either the XL drum or the medium length drum, because otherwise we've got nowhere to support the motors. But this is where things start to get interesting. The twin motors. If you start with the race gearing, 65:1, which is doing 58 meters a minute, which is 190 feet a minute, no load. That's 4,500 kilo pulling capacity. That's 10,000 pound pulling capacity. How does that relate to the old 8274? That puts you, race twin motor, that's plus 106%. Pulling capacity is basically the same, but your no load line speed has gone up by about 150% in total. So considerably quicker. And we all use the 8274 as the benchmark. If we go on to twin motor with overland gearing at the 89:1, well, that's now 6 tons, 6,000 kilos, or 13,200 pounds. Go up to the adventure model. You're now up to 9,000 kilos. That's 19,800, let's call it 20,000 pounds because it's so close. And then finally, if we get up to the Titan, that's 10,000 kilos. That's 22,000 pound pulling capacity. But unlike any other winch with that sort of pulling capacity, it's doing no load line speed, 22.8 meters a minute. Most of the winches that you'll find that are electric that can pull that are down around 5 meters, 7 meters a minute. So this is really quite different. What happens under load? Well, with that Titan gearing, if you put 1,000 kilos in the line, that's dropping down to 10 meters a minute. And then the more the load increases, the more it slows down. But overall, you'll find that these King Cobras are probably the fastest winches available on the market for those high loads now. Hope this helps.